राइट. सो हमने सोचा कि आज ऑब्वियसली और भी बहुत लोग होंगे जो लेवरेज ट्रेडिंग में घुसना चाह रहे होंगे, तो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट लिटिल बिट अबाउट leverage trading, how it works, what are perps, how is it different from like normal futures जो आप बाजार में देखते हो, and perp dexes, difference with sexes, hyperliquid, aster, and all of that. So who wants to go first? Narkundi
I
or
think
Realist?
no,
Start
daddy,
with
daddy should start.
yeah, daddy
Daddy
should
should
start.
start.
Acha. So
25x.
Yeah.
first, okay, to understand what is leverage trading, right, and how it works, is basically you have your basic spot trading, just may you buy a certain set of asset or a protocol or a token, whatever you're trading in, and you buy at its current price, and you can wait for it to go up and then sell at a higher price, right? And that is your basic spot trading, right?
And you hold the asset.
And you hold the asset, right? You're basically buying a product, holding it for a certain period of time. It can be for 1 minute or it can be for 1 year, and you sell it in profit. And that is the basic idea, to get the profit out of that, right?
Yes.
Leverage trading gets a little tricky, because what you're doing is essentially you're buying the asset.
No, you're not buying.
You're
asset taking
you're
a
buying a contract, basically.
Price
I'll explain
contract.
that.
Yes.
So basically, what you're doing is you're taking a price, right? And you're saying, let's suppose एक asset है वो $10 का है, for example, and you're saying कि यार ये $10 जो है वो मुझे लगता है अगले 1 घंटे में, या अगले 4 घंटे में, या अगले 1 दिन में ये $10 जो है वो या तो $20 हो जाएगा, ठीक है, या इस एसेट की प्राइस गिर जाएगी और 10 से ये $5 पे चला जाएगा, राइट? And that is the sort of bet you're taking in a leverage trade. कि यार क्या ये ऊपर जाएगा, क्या ये नीचे जाएगा? And that is what we call either long or short. Long means when it's going up, and short means when the price is going down, right? Then comes the second part of leverage trade. So in leverage, you'll hear a lot of people saying कि 40x trade लगाई हुई है, या 50x trade लगाई हुई है, या 10x trade लगाई हुई है, whatever it is. What are these X's, right? So you have a certain amount of capital with you, right? Let's say आपके पास $100, for example, and you want to go for a leverage trade. Let's for example's sake, let's say 5x leverage trade आपने लेनी है for an asset that is priced at $10 right now. अगर आप उस $10 के asset को 5x leverage trade करना चाह रहे हैं, now you have the option of either longing it or shorting it. Longing, again, meaning that you're expecting the price to go higher, and shorting is meaning you're expecting the price to fall further down. So let's suppose we take a 5x long trade on that $10 asset value. What happens in that 5x? Basically, you put in your $100, right? And what you're doing is you're borrowing the remaining into multiply 5 or 5 multiple of that 100 from the platform that you're basically trading at. So it can be the SEX, it can be the DEX or whatever. How different things work, we can get into more detail. But basically, you're borrowing that additional, say, $40 or $400 from or $500 from the platform itself. And in return, what will happen is they will charge you a funding fee to fund that book that you're bookmaking. Plus, there will be an interest sort of rate that is going to be paid off, that is calculated on 4-hourly or 8-hourly basis, so forth and so on, depending on the different platforms. And whatever trade you make, and basically whatever trade you make, right? So let's suppose now that $10 asset moves to $20, right? So it doubled in value. During this double value, right, what happened is, because you had taken a 5x long trade, your capital investment moves 5 times higher. So your capital investment multiplies by 5 times. Similarly, if the price had fallen down, let's say, if it's a 5x, let's say 20%. What happens in that leverage trade is, as soon as the price falls down 20%, your book goes to zero. Why? Because the book that was opened is not for $100, it's for $500, right? And when we're taking 5x, what happens is basically every x is a multiplier, right? So जब वो नीचे जाता है, when that happens, basically your capital amount is getting reduced. And as soon as it reaches 20%, which is your capital amount, your book gets liquidated. Right? You'll hear a lot of these things where people are saying, yeah, we got liquidated, I got 100 million liquidated, I got 200 million liquidated. You'll see all these posts on X. And that's what basically is happening, is that they're betting large amounts of their capital with extremely high leverage access, right? And then when the price falls even a certain percentage, they get liquidated. And that becomes very risky. As long as you know how to read the charts and you know where the market sentiment is, how the markets are moving, it's an okay way of trading. And I see why people want to move to leverage rather than spots. जो that said कि पहले लोग spots में just trade कर रहे थे, and now most of them are trading either meme coins or leverage. And the reason behind that is because in the last 2 cycles there was ICOs and there were product launches where you could have seen a token getting launched and get 30-40x right at the beginning, right? So if somebody putting $100 could easily get like $3,000-4,000 in return. But in today's market, those sort of tokens launches are not happening. So people don't make that sort of money. So what is the next bet to make that sort of money? Most cases is either you take meme coins, they move, let's say, from 600K market cap to $100 million market cap. That's a big move. You make a lot of money there. You have major examples. You have Trump, you have Jelly. Just recently, we've seen the pump on Jelly, right?
कल रात में.
Exactly. And I was talking about it 2-3 days ago as well.
Yeah.
So, and so, or you leverage trade, where you take your capital and you take the bet कि हाँ price या तो ऊपर जाएगी या तो नीचे जाएगी market के move के हिसाब से, and I go max leverage and I'll make some money. And it's to be honest, it's a lot of the people who are trading they are not really trading, they're gambling away their money on leverage trade. That's what I would assume, right? And that is what happens in most leverage trades. You're not looking at the risk, you're just looking at the reward, and you end up trading a lot of money into losses.
Yeah, but there was this metric that किसी ने निकाला था कि over 90% या कुछ ऐसा था कि of people lose money in trading. I don't know if was it for crypto.
Also, right? I'll tell you.
I don't know how
TradFi is bad.
Yeah. I don't know हाँ वो crypto के लिए था कि TradFi था या इंडिया में Zerodha ने निकाला था या किसी ने निकाला.
Yeah. It was Zerodha. They were looking at their own database and sort of own database with users and sort of commenting on it.
It seemed like I was just looking at it yesterday, and this is one thing that I look at when I'm trading on leverage, right? So let's suppose a token is, let's say, for example, Jelly. Yesterday, right? Last night I was looking. I remember 2-3 days ago I said I'm going to short Jelly. I didn't, because it kept moving up, right? And yesterday I had an option of opening 2 trades, right? There was a token, so there's Jelly, and then there's a new token that's coming in that I could buy spot and I could just keep and hold, right? And I was thinking, where do I put the money in? So my basically analysis was, okay, I'm going to put X amount of capital, right? And this is a spot that I'm buying. If it does 3X, I make this much money, right? Jelly was sitting at, I think, 30 or 40 cents at that point in time.
50 bhai. Kal raat mein 50 chale.
The time when I was looking, it was sitting at 38, 40 cents. So I was like, however, if I short this, right, I'm not going to over leverage myself. With this amount of capital, if I short this, the amount of money that I was making was nothing compared to the money that I was making in spots, right? And that is the sort of analysis that you do before entering a trade. What is the risk versus reward, right? But agar Jelly goes point say 30 say 50 say 80 cents pe jata, I would have been liquidated on that trade, right? The risk was much higher as compared to my spot trade. So I went up and I ended up buying that spot trade. So, and that's what happens. And that is why people lose a lot of money, because they don't understand the risk versus the reward. The market moves so fast, especially in crypto. It's so volatile. It moves so quickly that you end up getting liquidated within seconds. That's what happened on the 10th of October.
And one of the things is that basically log profit book bhi nahi karte. The thing with, like, if you see seasoned leverage traders, right, they all keep saying keep booking profits. मैं ना अभी थोड़ी देर पहले नीचे खड़ा था ऑफिस के, और कोई I don't know, like some Russian dude was just like walking and he saw me, like मेरे हाथ में ना फोन था, चार्ट खुला था. He's like, you trading? Yeah, keep booking profit. वो मैंने कहा
well-wisher.
Yes. I make too much mistake. Keep booking profit. मैंने कहा भाई.
Two things: keep booking profits, and please use stop loss. They are for your benefit. People need to use stop loss. People don't book stop loss.
पूरे पैसे जाने से अच्छा आपके थोड़े पैसे जाएं.
It's there two things. So keep booking profit, and you should know when to cut your losses. You
Yes.
know, we've seen that happen with multiple people, you know, where they're trying to save, let's say, $100 or $200, and you know, कि अब यहाँ से return होगा, अब पलटेगा market, अब reverse होगा, and they end up losing $10,000 in that
Yeah.
trade. You know, they could have
Yes.
just lost that $200 or $300 and saved a hell lot of money. But that's what it is, that people don't know when to cut losses.
नरकुंडी तू बता दे भाई, लेवरेज ट्रेडिंग तेरी क्या?
Not my forte, but I think if I have to put some thoughts behind it, I think ये cycle में जैसे Anthony ने बोला कि like none of those ICOs, you know, you have a handful of ICOs, you know, who have been successful. I think ये market में, because it's the same money that's changing hands between different metas, you know, be it prediction markets, being memes, being I almost feel like there's a revenge trading aspect to leverage trading in this cycle, that people were so used to the gains or the excess from previous cycles that in this cycle जब वो नहीं आ रहा है, वो बंद हो गया है. Airdrops have killed all ICO, you know, and token prices on launch. So now it's like, okay, how do we go? And it really blows my mind कि BitMEX पे मैं देख रहा था, they have 250x leverage on BTC and I think 200 on ETH pair.
भाई
And
एस्टर पे आई
Aster
थिंक देयर
में
इज 1000x या समथिंग.
Aster and Hyperliquid are very different from Sexes.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
why they are able to sell that off. Sexes
Yeah.
becomes a little different. So
Yeah.
that's a difference that you have to keep in mind.
So yeah,
ठीक
so
है.
I'm wondering if like if these X's, these जितने X leverage हैं, were these constant in previous cycle as well, or this is a phenomenon that's developed recently?
यार जैसे जैसे मार्केट तेरी ये मेच्योर होती रहेगी ना, ये सब अभी अभी तो मेजरली इस पे ऑप्शंस नहीं आए. लाइक वो भी
I
एक
have,
बहुत
but
बड़ी
people don't
मार्केट है.
use it much. Yeah,
या पीपल डोंट यूज इट
There's
बट
not much liquidity,
not
in terms
मत
of
yeah, there's no
हाँ.
liquidity there.
But
Yes.
as the market matures, all of that will also come into play. So जैसे अभी ETFs तो आ गए, राइट? अब तेरे लेवरेज ETFs आने वाले हैं, फ्रॉम व्हाट आई हैव हर्ड. सो वो आ जाएगा. द नेक्स्ट थिंग आई थिंक जिस रिमेनिंग इज ऑप्शंस, तो वो भी आने वाला है.